Good morning, everyone, or afternoon. It's time for some more Crystalis Randomizer.
Yes, and we're still back in the winners bracket this time between Metric and crossproduct here. Now, the one thing is we do have a couple of new things happening in this round here. First off, this is a best of 3, so these two will actually be racing a second race right after this. Not a third one if necessary. But we'll get to that when we get there here. Also, a little bit of changes in the seeds here. The biggest of which, and you can get the rest of this here because I think you played a little more of them, is that only rank 1 of a sword is needed to break walls this time. Can you go over what extra is going on here, X?
That's right. That's the main thing, and that means you're not going to need the ball of the sword to get the second level charge. So just having the sword is going to be enough to, say, open the walls in the windmill cave, or build bridges with the water sword, or even blow up the walls, the iron face walls to enter Goa Fortress. That's going to change things a lot, actually, and really open things up fast, add a lot of chaos and randomness to all the item distribution, too.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little bit more interesting, especially in all. I cannot remember. Is this also the where bracelets are not guaranteed for specific bosses? I believe.
Actually, the bracelets are logically guaranteed, but I can tell you, having played a few of these, if you're up against Matrick and you try and wait for that bracelet before you fight every boss, it's not going to go well. He's going to do those bosses before he gets the bracelet, especially since you only need the sword itself just to get to places. So we're going to see a lot lower resource boss fights. We're going to see bosses done without that bracelet for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely not averse to take them on. I just can never remember which is which there. I just wanted to keep in mind there. And we are off here. And immediately, great seed for money is teleport and a sword of fire will keep them from both needing to spend exorbitant amount of money on warp boots.
That's an interesting start. So the Sword of Fire gets you access to 2 different places. That one is the Zebu's Cave that goes over towards the Bryn Mawr Cordell Plains area, and the other side is the Waterfall Cave over by Portoa. It looks like we have both runners heading to the Mount Saber, crossing over towards towards the Bryn Mawr area.
Also, one thing I did see that was another change from the last seeds there. Those were tower robots I saw in the Leaf Valley there. That didn't happen before.
That's right. That flag has been turned on in these semis flags. And so you're going to see those robots coming up just about anywhere.
The good news for them is they can spend all that money. There's robots everywhere already.
Wow, these robots. They're letting that flag be known. So just like in the brackets flags, we have an item shuffle. So Akahana and Bryn Mawr there, his vanilla ask is for the statue of Onyx. But he can ask for any statue, and that exotic statue is actually the ivory statue.
And we get a French vanilla hazmat suit here. And it does look like at least Cross is gonna follow that. Metric, yeah, they're both following it actually.
Oh yeah, they're kind of following the logic here. To be honest, though, they don't have a whole lot to go with that. So they've got teleport, but they don't have... so what they don't have is telepathy, which they would need to get which they would need to get the child rescue items, which are pretty nice. 2 items there.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's just because they have that teleport spell, which is why they're doing this. We're gonna see Metric check and see maybe if we've got some cheap warp boots there. Otherwise, we might be seeing a few vanilla Stom fights, actually. No, he might just be going for it.
They are, you know, they are sort of on this side of the world, and you know, I think it's an issue of we're over here. Let's get the stuff over here while we can. So Matrick may be going down towards Mount Saber, which is definitely the density play. But Stom, you never know, especially when you get that hazmat suit. A lot of times it leads to something. So Cross is going to go for it.
Yeah, he just was able to afford those warp boots at 78 gold there. And the robot. This is no, you're gonna go back to start.
More of these guys. That's
did
amazing.
we just kind of do the oops all robots seed here?
That's, you know, I have no idea how it decides where to put all the robots, but they put all the robots in here. Robots everywhere.
Matrick finally getting to a cave that is decidedly less robots. Same amount of death, though.
I think that was a shadow that was hiding in the shadows.
So Cross Product has made it to Tornell's hut, and we're at least going to see this check here. That's telepathy. That's
Ooh.
assuming he can grab himself 6 more MP here somewhere.
So Cross Product not checking the not talking to the rabbit for the rabbit skip, because he can just skip the rabbit with these flags. That's a new addition.
Rage, however, does not want the Sword of Fire.
Did anyone catch what Matrick got on the ledge there?
I did miss the ledge there.
Oh, and another hint that we got from Stom, the conversation with Stom there, is that Tornell wants the Blizzard Bracelet this seed.
Matrick did, however, find a Bow of Truth.
We are not getting like very friendly enemies for grinding and getting gold here.
I noticed Matrick got some kind of spell off that first. No, wait, that's teleport. Never mind. Cross is going to give us our first look at the Queen's first item here. Warp Boots apparently was the first item on Saber, which actually would have been great for Matrick there. Only a medical herb from the Queen. So I'm guessing Cross is probably... I'm surprised he actually isn't teleporting straight over to Oak and grabbing those 2 checks, since he did make that teleport.
He might be going for the waterfall. Oh no. You know, putting off the waterfall is kind of tempting, because you might want to wait until you get that Flute of Lime so you can full clear it and not strand the Stone Dakahana check. However, when you get an early fire sword, oftentimes, you know, you may need to get something, one of the other 3 chests in there may be very important.
Cross just kind of wishing he had this level 3 here, because the first level actually does not give you any MP in the game, so with teleport costing 20 MP, you only get 1 before you have to go to a restorative of any kind. Let's see what he gets rewarded with. The recover spell, which is a nice to have, but not progress. And the flight spell, okay, well,
wow.
That's the play.
Yeah, that's the play, and that's gonna give Cross Product a little advantage here, unless there's something really big up on the top of the mountain here.
Well,
and
I mean,
assuming Matrick can even make it.
Saber West is a slog no matter how you look at it. At level 1, with no resources, it's even worse.
Luckily, as we got deeper in the cave, we actually got some easier enemies, and Matrix taking advantage of that to get some golden experience.
Definitely a lot easier there. It looks like Cross is gonna be doing that rabbit skip there now that he has flight and heading straight to Saber North, I guess, even though he really doesn't need to do the rabbit skip. Glowing lamp on top of...
So that... So Matrix doesn't... Well, he's gonna find pretty soon, but the glowing lamp, at this point, now that we have flight, the glowing lamp is only good for one item, and that's assuming we get the broken statue.
One thing is, cross-product will need to go back to Saber West eventually, because we do know that Bow of Truth is there.
That's a good point. Saber West, you know, with all those items, it's one that's kind of not too far in your checks once you're kind of in your bow mode, but still, it could be a delay.
Matrix going to pick up his flight spell.
So the flags of these seeds are such that the Mount Saber North is accessible with just flight. Actually, they do have flight and teleport, so this isn't logic.
And not to cut you off, but cross-product cashing in pretty well with that Sword of Wind on Saber North. Well,
That's a
Matrix
great
is
find, yeah.
going to do one of our newly discovered rage glitch here to get the second item and the dolphin out of Portoa.
Now with that Sword of Wind, the game is really open, because we can take that to the Carissa Plant Cave, the Fog Lamp Cave, and with flight we can get to Evil Spirit Island as well.
They're having the exact opposite situation from what I did last match, where they have everywhere to go here. Decisions, I mean, just... Yeah,
well,
like I said,
specifically, cross-product has everywhere to go. Matrix has yet to find that Sword of Wind, and unless he goes up to Mount Saber North, which he's going to have to go in the bottom, you know, he may be waiting for the key to prison to route it more efficiently from the top side. So if he puts off Mount Saber North, we may see him do a lot of extra checks.
Yeah, Orb of Thunder, second thing on the on Saber North there. Only a combat upgrade now, given we only need the sword to do walls there. We have discovered that Calming the Angry Sea is only an iron necklace as well.
So if cross product goes back to Saber North and gets an unfortunate death,
that's gonna set him back a little bit here. Like all the way back to Nadare is a little bit. But
now,
on the other hand, he knows he can kind of skip those, because like I said, Orb of Thunder, not really completely necessary. Like I said, good combat upgrade.
yeah,
Not
actually
really...
pretty useful. Because you need to fight all these bosses, and Thunder Sword is pretty nice to have.
Oh, yeah. And that's our first Mimic there, inside the prison. Now, does Cross... At 6 scaling? After finding rabbit boots there in, I believe, Waterfall Cave. Yeah, that's Waterfall Cave. Now the question is... oh, he's going back in the back way to get that Orb of Thunder there. The question is, at what's going to be 7 scaling, does he take a shot at Kelbesk? I think Geik actually would here.
I think it's a great idea. You'd probably... So, we're a little light on equipment, even with that scaling. We don't have any armor or shield or... and I'd probably want a few medical herbs, to make that shot, but you can go for it.
And Cross Product does indeed return for that Orb of Thunder. That is, however, extremely unfortunate.
You could probably the Bow of Moon in the waterfall.
Yeah, I looked over to hit the tracker for his Bow of Moon and missed the other chest there.
I think it was a medical herb or something.
Alright. Patrick also going to give us a look here at the basement. Earl's basements. I don't know if Cross just tried another rage check. Doesn't look like it. Shelf loot was other chest, thank you very much. Only a medical herb in the basement.
Patrick, too lazy to walk out himself, gets himself escorted. So at this point, the shelf loot, not necessary because we have flight, but that bow was very important.
So the question now is, Cross Product had to bail thanks to one very aggressive mummy. The question is, what else? Well, I mean, he had the Kelbus fight and 2 swords. That's about it here. Actually, now that I think about it, does he only have the first sword? Because Sword of Wind was the other chest there. Did he ever go back for that? I kinda need to see his inventory. See, Matrix got a shelf loot, he's got flight. I'm surprised he isn't going straight for the usual Matrix play of Dragon 1 here.
Well, they actually can't make it to Dragon 1 yet. They're locked on this half of the world.
Oh, true, we do not have a change spell, that's right.
So we need either change or we need the Thunder Sword for the Shyren Warp. And it looks like Matrix is making the play, though. He's gonna get there. And Cross Product's getting back there. I think he may have actually missed his Sword of Wind. The Cross Product's play of coming up here early was paying a little loss here in the village.
I'm not exactly sure what that's all about there, but might have to ask him there later. Just taking the rest at the end there. Matrick going is he just gonna take a little poke at Calbesk here real quick? Or is he
Why
just
not?
going on? Yeah, he's gonna check the weakness here of the general. And it's not fire. Oh, that's probably a good point, Dragon Dark. Both of them are sitting exactly at 12 gold. Not enough money for either of them to get to anywhere in the end. Cross Product did duck in, grab the Sword of Wind, and saying, yeah, this is all I need.
Let's see if Matrick has the same response.
I see Matrick holding on for that second chest with the Orb of Thunder in it there.
You know, since we have teleport, we have a lot of options with the routing. Especially you step into Adair's, now you've got a warp point out there, so you can get that second chest, warp out, and then go for the top key to prison chest.
I was just watching at that helicopter just taunting Cross right in front of Rage there. The question is, with all these checks open for both of them, what do they pick?
So now that they've got the Sword of Wind, I think the one that's really big is going to be Evil Spirit Island. That's probably what we're going to see, where we're going to see the play. And Matrix he's gonna go up the mountain some more.
He's probably at least gonna check the cell, if I had to guess. Maybe actually, does have the Sword of Wind. Even at 13 scaling, I see him taking a poke at Kelbesk again with the second sword. Cross product on the other hand, going straight to ESI here.
This is most likely the play, and, you know, it's a necessary check anyway, because we have the story mode flags on here, and so you have to come here sometime and go beat Sabera.
I mean, at the very least, he does have those rabbit boots, and while he's not really going to use them for their jumping potential, he at least can stay mobile in that Kelbesk fight.
Matrick putting on some levels to probably with hopes of being able to take on the boss here. We'll see if that wind sword works out.
We got synchronized mimics there, only one of them new. Still the second mimic we found this seed.
So Matrick entered that chamber, he blew away that wall and entered that room because it's a checkpoint. Now if he dies on Kelbesk, he'll just end up back there.
And it is a wind weakness.
Matrick with no healing items and a level 1 sword. So this is probably not recommended, but we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, I mean, as I said 2 races ago, he's got some medical herbs there.
Oh, okay. I guess he'll be alright.
Yeah. I would like to, if possible, a windmill key. Well, that might be important. Meanwhile, Cross gets an opal and a Dio's pendants. Kind of useful, actually, right now, to curb some of those MP needs. The question is, how much value is Matrick, who is immediately checking that windmill key now?
So technically, Kelbesk beating the boss here was an out-of-logic play. So we're not guaranteed that this is progress, but it's probably a good play. There are 6 items in Windmill Cave, and there's a really good chance that one of them is going to be necessary.
Yeah, just density checks. We see Cross, who has made it to Zombie Town, which, as of I believe 1 update ago, has been at least updated to be a telepoint. Now, Matrick opens it up. Oh, he's going in the back way here after collecting his refresh spell, which is another super nice to have thing.
This is a clever routing trick. This way, he won't have to go into the back of the cave and then back out to fight the vampire. He'll just go through. Oh, and that worked out really well.
Yeah. Key to Stixie over there on Cross's side on ESI, so that's a pile of checks when we can get over there.
Still waiting on the Sword of Thunder or the Change spell. That's going to be our next big progress. And like we said before, the Kelbesk fight was out of logic, so it's less likely that there will be that one of those will be in the Windmill Cave, and more likely that we'll see it on Evil Spirit Island here.
who vampire teleported right on top of Cross, broke the opal he was holding here. And that was some kind of spell. Ivory statue for Cross, some kind of spell for Matrick, I believe. Did not see which
It was barrier.
Oh my.
Yes, a very nice to have. The love pendant.
Yeah.
And that was all the items.
But looks like a bunch of super nice to have. There was also Psycho Armor in there. A bunch of super nice to have. And unless that love pendant is required, however, nothing we absolutely had to have.
But I think it was probably worth it. We got speed boots and armor. I think Matrick is probably feeling pretty good about that.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to see the 50-50 chance that Cross has Sabera's weakness here real soon. It's not wind, and we're not sure on fire.
So Matrick,
or maybe it was, and he changed it because he's teleporting right out of there.
Okay. Matrick going for the Carissa plant cave instead of, and picks up the Psycho Shield. Going for the Carissa plant cave instead of the bigger Evil Spirit Island.
That might be a I have speed boots. Now he does get petrified. And recovers out of it because he's not once bullied by a mummy.
So it's looking like the Fog Lamp Cave, unless... Okay, we have paralysis here. We could have a vanilla love pendant check on Kensu and Swan for change, possibly.
We have every spell except for change right now, at least on Matrick's side. So Cross actually is a little bit ahead there. I believe it was just a consumable on the first treasure there, Fog Lamp Cave. Mimic number 3 on Cross's side, but I believe this might, knowing what we do about ESI, might have to be progression here.
I think, yeah, there's got to be progression here. And it's either going to be change or another sword.
There it is. Yep, there's change. So Cross is going to attempt to dig out the last item here in Fog Lamp Cave.
Picks up his change. He's going to keep going to the last item, too.
Now, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Dragon Dark said, yeah, I'll go check it out if I've got speed boots here. I get it.
Yeah, that's an interesting outlook. Of course, Matrick has the speed boots, so... At the same time, you know, you're in here, you need... you still need 2 more swords, and 2 more one more bow and 2 more swords, so...
Yeah, I don't think Cross has hit any of those bows yet, so I think that's the reason. I mean, he's got the full gamut of things here.
We're also really short on upgrades for our swords. We don't have a ball for either of our swords. And the randomizer here... Oh, we're about to see it. Okay.
Well, ask and you shall receive.
So in the randomizer, the sword damage has been changed so that the damage output of your swords is set to be based on the charge level of your sword. So when you don't have the ball, you actually are doing less damage than just having that ball, even if you don't use the charge attack.
I believe it's, 2, 4, and 8. 2 on base, 4 on...
I think that's right, yeah. So having the bracelet is very useful, and we have the sword charge glitch. So having at least one sword with a bracelet is also a really big step when you can use that sword charge glitch.
That's right, we did find that ivory statue there. And Akahana is giving a key to prison. That's interesting there. Does that bring Cross over to Porto and try to go in the back? No, he's going right to Swan. He wants to see the rest of the world. He's got that key to Stixie burn a hole in his pocket, honestly.
Oh, and he's not checking Kensu either.
True, he does have paralysis, but I don't think he has any items that he could actually give to Kensu. I mean, he could get the information.
Oh, we have that love
though.
pendant.
Ah, true. That might be Magic has that love pendant.
Right.
If,
that might be, yeah.
Yeah, that was in Windmill Cave, and we know that that was had there. Orb of Wind for Brokahana there.
Cross product giving us our first look into this part of the world.
Yeah, and he's going straight for what he knows he can kill. Straight for Dragon 1 here.
Not a bad play because it's 3 items, and actually we're gonna be able to get a 4th one on. And yeah, he knows it too. He's gonna get Deo's item here.
He's putting himself just a smidge short of MP there, the 20 necessary to change here. And the Sacred Shield actually pretty good for him because he does not have the Psycho Shield that Matrick found, so at least a very good defensive upgrade there. Meanwhile, Matrick does find that key to Stixie that Cross did find. Ooh, does he reset out of that? I'm not sure. Oh, he's gonna let it stand there, burning the opal. I think both of them burn their opals on Vampire 2 here.
At 25 scaling, level 5 or 6 is starting to get a little low.
It's
for,
it's starting to
some
get more than a
bosses.
little dicey here.
Cross product scaling, you know, while it's lower, and it's going to give him an advantage in some fights here. He's missing a lot of items that would be nice to have.
Yep, does get a statue of Onyx in the pyramid here. We don't know who wants that just yet. Here comes Dragon though. Matrix saying no to the Tink fights.
Not a bad call. You know, you're going to have to get all the swords anyway,
Yeah,
and it's not logically required.
26 scaling is a little big. Now, if that zombie warp point wasn't there, I'd think about it, but with that here, it's nice. Oh, Azteca having a power ring, paying off great for cross product there.
Matrick going to give us the Kensu and Swan check here.
And he wants the
And
love pendant. He
The Flute of Lime,
Oh
wow.
my. Unfortunately, the given that we've already seen Fog Lamp, we've already seen Carissa, that hint's not really gonna do any good. So unless there's a sword or the last bow there, not really what they want to see. Actually, they really don't want to see either of those things there, but
But it's entirely possible.
Patrick getting his Orb of Wind off Brokahana there. Meanwhile, 96 gold medical herbs and Chiron at 17 scaling is actually really cheap.
Cross product walking into Chiron to get the item from Zebu. Usually not a high percentage play, given that you'll teleport there anyway once you find the Thunder Sword.
And it still totally just gnaws in the back of your mind when you leave it there. Cross picking up a broken statue, not the greatest of items to find, knowing that we only have an iron necklace sitting on Calming the Angry Sea here. Yeah, I was wondering how long it'd actually take Matrick to put that Psycho Shield on. Let's say Dragon 1 has a few more hit points at 29 scaling here, as Matt's had to put in more than a few hits. We've got a Mimic, I believe a Consumable, and I missed the first item on Stixie there, because I was watching this marathon of a Dragon fight.
Very well done. So Stixie with 6 items, another spot where when you're looking for something, it's a good place to be. We get an Orb of Fire, which is going to be useful.
Minor combat upgrade item, we had the magic ring in the first chest, thanks chat. There's our Sword of Thunder.
Sort of a French vanilla spot there. And let's see if Cross Product goes back to get the last chest, the vanilla Sword of Thunder chest. Is that one chest going to be gnawing at him enough that he's going to make sure he gets it? And he might.
Matrick gets that key to prison. Gonna see what Arillis wants here in Amazons. Wants a vanilla Carissa plant. We don't have that yet, I believe.
That's right, yeah.
Cross is going up to Hydra here.
Meanwhile, Matrick cashing in that key to prison for the warrior ring.
Only a warrior ring. Meanwhile, say hello to Bert. Who, with those slimes in the way, not really having a great day here. Does not have that barrier spell that Matrick picked up, apparently. Is also giving us the first Chiron check here.
It's an interesting route, considering that we, that we know, and the high percentage play is to look for the Sword of Thunder first.
Yeah, Cross bailed out on Hydra. I don't entirely blame him. Entirely being that that thing was infested with butterflies and other things you don't want to see in there.
Oh, but we're gonna take another shot. Meanwhile, Matrick going up as well. Will he just do the first one and nope out?
Yeah, and the honest thing is, you see them, they're both in the same place here. He went over for that treasure chest that they hadn't got yet. But the big thing is, I mean, that out-of-logic play with Kelbesk, using a level 1 sword for him, is the play, because those speed boots are just, kind of a really big deal right
getting
now.
speed boots that early is a really big difference maker. And Matrick also can have an easier time here with the barrier spell, just walking right through. Now, if Matrick takes the route to jump down to that last chest, he's going to be able to get all the chests in Stixie here. And we'll see if that last chest had something.
Cross does pick himself up a tornado bracelet here, so we do have a level 3 sword, and we do have a sword charge glitch available.
That's going to make it easier for him to beat Kelbesk when he goes back to do it.
Cross saying, I've got Medusa's... Oh, he did not go, so he is also going to abandon, possibly, that chest up top. So we've got a couple one-ofs starting to come up here between Flute of Lime, between, I believe it was the, was it? Did you say it was the Blizzard Bracelet, or was it the Vanilla Tornado Bracelet that Tornell wanted?
Oh, Blizzard Bracelet. Yeah,
Okay.
for Tornell. Yep. So it looks like Matrick... Oh, okay, he's gonna go back and get that chest. This is a good, you know, 1 versus 1 play, because he knows that his opponent may have done the routing differently and gotten that item, so he wants to make sure he gets that. Otherwise, we have a Thunder Sword, and that means we can get into Goa, and that's a pretty big play right now.
Cross taking this moment to not only even up the XP difference, but it looks like pick up a level on Matrick here.
At the scaling they're at, it's not a surprise, especially since we're gonna have to go in and start beating all the bosses in Goa pretty soon.
It's a medical herb.
Looks like Matrick heading out to go do Mount Hydra next, which is an interesting play. You know, he needs 1 sword and 1 bow, and we have all of Goa Fortress left.
When we do know, at least we know. Oh no!
Oh, that was a death.
Yeah, the good news is he had already checkpointed way back here, so it's not like he lost anything but that medical herb back there, but it's still a time loss. And,
I mean, if he would have used it...
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Cross doing the play that I think is the way to go right now, and that's into the backside of Goa, through the Oasis Cave. So we have 4 checks in the Oasis Cave here. Since we have Flight and the Thunder Sword, we can get to them all.
And I believe that was number 5? Maybe 4, yeah, it was 4. I mean, I see people leaving this a little bit just until they do have that Orb of Thunder there, but there's just so many checks here. There's the Blizzard Bracelet, so once we find that Sword of Water, it's going to be fully charged. But also does put Tornell on the map. Storm Bracelet, okay, well...
Wow. Okay, so now our sword level power problems are getting fixed.
Yeah, we got bracelet for everything known here, at least until that flame bracelet.
On the other hand, Matrick has a bit ways to go left on Mount Hydra, and unless there's something here, all the time he spends here is time that Cross is catching up.
Yeah. The question actually comes up to here is, I mean, how long until Cross... There's the eyeglasses there. How long until Cross goes to Saber North here? What happened? The biggest thing, the Wiper there, is that, Matrick, found the key to prison. Actually, no, he did this before key to prison there. And got the speed boots off of, Saber North. And got Keldusk 1 in the process. So, except with this warrior ring here, which he's using because he's got Statue of Onyx. I believe both of them have that Statue of Onyx for Kensu here. Only a mirrored shield on him, though.
Matrick gonna get all the levels he's gonna need, pretty much, here.
Yeah, at 36 scaling, Alarm Flute for cross product there. Yeah, 36 scaling, Medusas now is definitely the time. And I need to pay way more attention across the screen because he is making a ton of checks right now. There's a shield ring. And actually, the speed boosts weren't exactly on, there's Mimic Nerf 5. And the speed boosts weren't directly on Saber North, but that windmill key was on General Kelbesk, so,
Oh, Flame Bracelet.
Flame Bracelet, okay, so...
Yeah, however, Mount Hydra was a bust, but Matrick got a lot of levels out of it, and he got that bracelet, so not a complete loss, but not necessary stuff.
Flame Bracelet right in time, as Carmine shows a weakness to fire. And I need to stop looking away. But there's the Bow of Sun, so we know where all the bows are now.
Wow. So when Matrick gets that, that'll be his last bow. Cross Product needs to go back to Mount Hydra, or no, Mount Saber West is where one bow is. And where was the Bow of Truth?
Truth was... Wow, it was early. I want to say... I'm surprised it doesn't have it, honestly. Where was Bow of Truth?
Yeah, we're sure he doesn't have it?
I will be watching for his inventory screen next time he's in it.
Matrick picking up his Storm Bracelet, keeping the items in the Oasis Cave.
Matrick did get his Tornado Bracelet off of Hydra as well. So the big question is, where is this Sword of Water as well?
You know, that Sword of Water can be the biggest troll, because the water bridges that you can build with the Sword of Water are completely obviated by the flight spell. And unless there's some boss that's weak to water, which, you know, the boss only drops one item, so even then, that Sword of Water may not be necessary at all until you get to the end there.
I believe I saw the flash there. Yep, Mado 2 is weak to fire.
Very nice fight from Cross. Matrick hot on his heels in the back of Hydra, in the back of Goa Fortress here. So Nightdew, what is your pick? Where do you think that water sword is?
Where I think the pick, other than that Mimic number 6 there, where I think it is, where I rather want it to be, I think it's, I would actually think it's maybe in Saberis 2's area. Where I want it to be is on the Flute of Lime at this point.
Ooh, that's a nice one. But you know, a crypt seeds are always fun.
Never mind, Cross just found it in Mato 2's area, so he has all of his swords, all of his bracelets, he's at maximum combat viability. He does need to find some sword or bow or two still, but he is in go mode in terms of bosses to kill here.
But this is bad news for Cross, because Matrick is going to get that on his way through the fortress here, and he's going to be in go mode, and he's just going to gun through everything. So at this point, it's not looking good for Cross.
No, it's, yeah, as soon as Matrick picks up that sword, he's just gonna go mow the rest of the fortress here. Cross needs to just get back to, now the thing is, knowing what he does,
So Matrick needs
really
all the swords, but he's going to pick up that sword following the chests in the areas that he's going through here.
And I only had a small time to look at it, but it did look like Cross only had one bow. And Sabera 2 is calling for wind here. Not exactly the best bow or best thing I'd want to see for there. They both do have that power ring, however.
But Matrick has the warrior ring.
Yes.
We'll see if he uses that.
He so wanted for that lag storm for Mato, but to be fair, Fire 3 not that bad. Just pop him when he stops, and you're usually pretty good to go there.
Matrick getting his last sword. He is in item go mode. He just needs to beat a couple more bosses. Actually, we need to finish Sabera here.
Yeah,
he did nope out of Sabera 1. He's going to have to go back and do that. And he's going to have to beat Mato 1.
Yeah, that battle armor is better news for Cross, because I don't know if he's going to find his way down to Windmill Cave, which had a lot of the good stuff, but almost none of the required stuff. Meanwhile, 2 chests in Sabera 2's area being mimics, so I believe that's 8 or 9. I've lost count. Honestly, I haven't been typing it out there. Like that MP draining strategy might be good for Sabera if Matrick wasn't holding on to 7 magic rings right now. And we're seeing fire is definitely the go-to combat sword here.
I think we're getting a pretty good showing of what these semis flags have in store for us, and it is very random, very wild. Items can be anywhere, and if you skip those, you know, if you skip stuff, you skip it at your own risk, and you never know what you're gonna miss.
Cross is making the play here. Gonna pick up his Kelbeth too. Does burn a noble. I have no problems or issues whatsoever with burning an opal on either the Kelbesks just to get our stab on. Just getting his windmill key and the good news about the warrior ring, at least. And
Now,
might be
looking
going
for
in
2
nursery.
bows, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the windmill cave.
Is going for Sabera, which, you know, also good thing, also necessary here. Meanwhile, we'll just look like a consumable on Mado 1 there. Matrick, did Matrick ever go back for Sabera 1?
Ooh. Okay. I think he's
Okay,
realizing
no,
it now.
he's going back, yeah.
Well, Cross is gonna win on the mem front for sure.
Let's find our Sabera 1 is water weak here. And only a Lysis plant for that win there. But yeah, the biggest thing here is definitely... Matrick's very early kill of Kelbesk 1 is definitely what kind of shaped this seed here.
Yeah, I think that and not just doing that, but also doing the windmill cave, following the windmill key that he picked up there, and just getting the treasure trove that was in Windmill Cave with those speed boots. You know, Matrick has pretty much cleared the whole game here, and he's on track to finish in about an hour. That's really impressive for the near full clear here. What didn't we get? I guess we didn't get Tornell's item.
We left the iron necklace alone, but we knew where it was. We didn't cross Angry Sea, cross burning another opal there at Mado. And... Did Cross reset out, or did he take a hit?
It looks like he did. It looks like he reset to save his opal, or...
Yeah. That said, I'm sure he will have this refight done in just a moment here. Yeah, so both of them have all the bosses they need down. It's just Cross's quick lack of bows here. One that might lead him to... Wow, why am I thinking it was... Pyrolite, to answer your question, how many key items, the tracker will stop, at least right now on this build. I believe the experimental build will go up further, but right now, the scaling is stop at 47. I believe the amount of key items are 52 or 51, one of the two. Shahali 9, this is story mode, so these flags actually do require that every boss, other than the insect and both vampires, are killed.
So if you miss one of the bosses, then Dragon 2 here won't spawn, and he just won't show up, so you don't really have a chance. So you have to beat those bosses. Matrick taking down the big dragon, moving on to the tower. Going for flame bracelet strats. It's hard.
It's a little hard to drag them in. but just based on the sheer amount of screen lag that the Sword of Thunder does put out. Now, mind you, when the robots decide to spread to the four corners of the Earth like they are for Matrick here, I see Sword of Thunder working a lot better, but I definitely see why he is doing what he's doing here. I think Matrick's got one. Yeah, he does have one opal remaining by the looks of it. Yep.
Crossproduct taking that same tricky back route into the windmill cave. He's gonna get his speed boots, and probably has no idea that Matrick got this really early.
You see speed boots at 58 minutes in, and how happy are you to see speed boots at 58 minutes in when you know your opponent possibly could have got them a lot earlier?
Matrick a little short on MP for his Flame Bracelet attack. It is better on MP than the Lag Storm. And I'm surprised he's not going for the Lag Storm. He has all those magic bracelets. It would make it so much easier.
Yeah, I say he's got all the magic rings, he's got the...
He might just be going for some swag here. That's right. These robots no longer as unique as they used to be, since we just saw a bunch of them all throughout this scene. Now, oh, there's more of them.
I mean, because it needs to be said, I for one welcome the presence of our new robot overlords in the randomizer here. Yeah, Flame Bracelet can be a little bit better, but Matrick's robots have been kinda trollish here. Cross going to level 13 here on these Medusas in the Windmill Cave. Meanwhile, Matrick has his Crystalis and is on precipice of finishing this just almost a sub-hour, which for these seeds is extremely impressive.
Especially given the amount of this seed he's checked. I mean, obviously, getting those early speed boots, we started out with a sword, so this wasn't exactly the hardest seed that these flags can give us. But still, 1 hour and 46 seconds, or the official SRL time of 1 hour 48 seconds, very impressive time. Let's get some GGs for Matrick.
Yep.
That was a start. What was the beginning of that seed?
Interesting as what the beginning of that seed was.
There were robots everywhere! Like, everywhere!
I know, I was just like, did we just seriously roll Oops All Robots?
Yeah, God. I think I felt like routing on that one was really strong on my part. I got a lot of lucky things going on with this.
The biggest of which was your,
I'm guessing the dip
was your
to change.
very early Kelbisk 1 kill.
Ah.
Which led you to the Windmill Key, which led you to those speed boots a good
And then
probably half hour before Cross got his.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, you had speed boots for forever.
Cross actually went up Mount Saber North first, but got killed and noped out.
I saved. I was like, I went up the mountain the first time before I found wind, which was there. But I went up the first time and I was like, fire. Nope. Okay, let me go make the checks. I found wind on the way up and I was like, well, okay, I'm gonna be right next to it. I may as well just try it. And I had the rabbit boots and I'd already gained a couple of levels. I was like, well, if he's weak to wind, I got this. And that was actually probably one of the nicest fights I've seen out of him. He was pretty cooperative.
That was a super smooth, one of the better Kelbisk ones I've seen, period.
I mean,
Yeah.
I healed after he, you know, pile drove me. I healed just to be safe, but I didn't need it. It was a pretty good fight. He was cooperative, relatively speaking.
Meanwhile, Cross does get his bow of truth off of Saber West now.
Oh, how far back is he?
He has all of his bosses killed. He is now in a hunt for the Bow of Moon.
Ah, okay. So my strategy for this run, and it's the same one you're going to see me do on the next one, is that yes, you have sword charge glitch, and yes, you have other things. But from what I've noticed with this particular flag set is, even though you have RO just really gives you access to things. Logically speaking, you don't need to be going through, you know, places like Goa until you have bracelets. So to check all of the side caves and to check all the peripheral checks is going to get you what you need to do that late.
Yeah.
And so basically, if you notice, the last thing I did was Goa.
Yes.
And so in doing so, I was fully prepared to literally blast through it, and I just blazed a trail because I had all 4 bracelets before I went in there.
You were pretty
Or 3 of the
well
4.
alike in that. Both of you were actually in Goa Fortress at the same time. You had just blazed a very early lead there.
Yeah, I mean, I had
I don't want to call it. Yeah, I don't want to call it insurmountable, but it was pretty large there.
I mean, if you anytime you have a 30-minute head start with speed boots, it's really hard to come back from that.
Oh yeah.
It is. I mean, because it doesn't matter if you're starting from the same place. I mean, we just saw it in the last seed. You and Dragon Dark were basically almost like less than a minute apart, you know, from finding each other, or maybe just a minute or so apart. But his speed boots blew him 10 minutes ahead of you.
Yeah.
Because of that. And that's honestly the difference. It's just every minute that you have speed boots that somebody else doesn't is simply time you don't get back.
Absolutely.
That's how it is. And so the earlier you find the speed boots, unless your routing is like top tier, and the other person's is not, it's really, really hard to come back from being down on speed boots forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I cannot remember, even though I know you found it. Where was Bow of Moon?
Was it Fogland?
Very
it was
much.
Fogland. I think
Yeah,
it
it
was.
might have been. Actually, I think it was because I don't think Cross ever did. No way, I thought he did go to Foglamp. I
Let me
thought
think
both
about
of
this
you
for a
cleared
minute.
that at the same time.
It was pretty early. I got it. I know it was pretty early. The one that I was looking for was Sun. Was the last bow I found.
Okay. Yeah, someone's last one that you found there.
Because Saber South had the bow of Sun at the first chest on the right. Because I had to warp out of there. I remember that because I got paralyzed.
Yeah, you two were, like I said, you two are pretty much dead even here. In terms of cross-product comments, exactly what I said. Oops, all robots. Okay, so I believe, are we just going almost immediately into our second match here?
I mean, obviously, if he wants to come in, you know, just to talk for a second before the next one. But yeah, pretty much we go ahead and set up another room for us, get it ready to go. I don't know if he wants a break. Technically, we have, we have a little bit of time if he wants to take a break. But I mean, I'm down for whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, realistically, we have like 40 minutes to go. I mean, I know in my case, I'm down to do it right away, but he may need to, cleanse his head. I know a lot of people have trouble. They,
okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's hard to separate 2 races one after another.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't use a tracker like I do. You got to kind of decompress and clear your head.
Yeah, looks like, yep, we are going to have that here. Looks like it's going to be a little bit cross. Says he will talk after the second race here.
Sure.
So,
yeah. Well, we can hang out for a
We'll
couple
reset
minutes.
everything. We'll hang out for a little bit. I'm going to use this moment to break for just a moment as well. GG again. So well played by both of you, and we will talk to you both after the next match here.
Yep. So, yep, I'll see you guys in the race room.
All right, GG's.
Yep. And I will be right back as well, but it looks like does that rematch command work? Yeah, we'll be right back here as soon as the next race begins, and it does not look like it will be long.
All right. And so this is the winner's bracket. So even after the best 2 out of 3 match here, the loser will go to the loser's bracket and get another best 2 out of 3 match. So there's still a lot of action to go.
All right, so we'll be right back after this is done here with the second race between these two.